All right, one of my favorite studies every year comes out right around January, and here it is again. We've got a Construction Outlook national survey that's completed by the the Associated General Contractors, the Construction Association, and SAGE. Great information every single year. So let's sit down and dive right on into it. Up first on this one, the first question is, do you expect the available dollar value of projects to complete in 2024 to be higher, lower, about the same, or reduced percentages? So, rounding out some of the tops. Water, sewer expected to be 30% higher. Transportation, 30% higher. Bridges, highways, 30% higher. Federal, like VA, GSA, those kind of things, 29% higher. In power, 25%, and hospitals, 23% higher. To go on the other side, they expect to see private offices are going to be down 24% in cost. Retail down 15%. Lodging down 3%. From there, we got multifamily residential up 4% and warehousing up 10%. That's where we expect to see costs go just for those areas of construction. Then looking at labor and what the demand is for labor here, they're expecting about 69% to have total increases. So about 47% or so says they'll increase between 1 to 10%. 18 says between 11 and 25%, and then 4% thinks they will increase more than 25%. Whereas we got about 10% or so that think there will be a total decrease through this next year. Then if you sit down and look at how we would describe the current situation in filling salaried and hourly craft positions, basically said that we're having a hard time finding all positions at 77%, meaning there's not enough talent or not enough tradesmen out there to actually do the job. The next question here is, do you expect any changes in the availability of hourly craft or salary personnel? Here it's basically saying it will continue to be hard to hire, 35%. 31% says no change at all. 20% are saying it will become harder to hire. So it sounds like overall there's going to be either a harder time or maybe not as much if you look at the indexes here. Then, great question when it comes to pay. What changes did your firms make in pay and benefits in 2023? 63% said from 2022 to 2023 they increased base pays overall. It's a huge percentage. 25 or so percent basically said that they would provide some or similar increases. They introduced or increased incentive bonuses, or they increased a portion of benefits in the employee benefit package, which says they're trying to do what they can to retain talent. How has your firm responded to supply issues? This has been huge. Basically, we're saying that we have turned to alternative suppliers. 45% of the respondents are saying that. However, the largest number, saying 56, says we have accelerated purchases after winning contracts. Meaning as soon as they win the contract, they're jumping out there and buying what they can as fast as they can, or they're going to have to go find alternatives to the product. Now, to me, finding the alternatives is one of the things I think is going to be very interesting, especially when it comes to construction, is we're going to have products that may not do the job like the engineers directly designed, and therefore we may find ourselves in trouble come years later that we're going to have huge capital expenses on our commercial real estate because the wrong equipment or the not right equipment was put in, and we're going to have to do a lot more work to retro in what we really actually need to have inside that space. Now, this one's super interesting to me as well because we talked about the bipartisan infrastructure bill several times, and basically it's asking the construction industry what do they think is going to be the outcome. On here, 30% they don't know. They don't know what the outcome is going to be, and 33% said we don't expect any changes in our business resulting in law. Now that's interesting because there's so much that's supposed to go along with that bipartisan infrastructure bill, but you got almost 60% of folks here saying we don't know or we don't expect to see much. Then they ask, is anybody canceled or postponed jobs for 2023 and 2024? And basically an even split between a third said no jobs been postponed or canceled. Another third has said they've been postponed and rescheduled, or they've just been canceled outright. Why did they get postponed or canceled? Number one reason, 53% said rising costs, construction insurance and what have you. After that, rising interest rates at 39%, and then with that 34% of reduced funding available, meaning they can't get the lending to actually sit down and do the jobs. That's huge, and that's going to play into a lot of things as we start looking at 2024, 2025. We're going to start seeing how there's housing shortages and those kind of things continue to become an issue. We just don't have enough supply. Then here, the next question is, what's your biggest concern for 2024? There are a lot of things. Economic slowdown is making the list at 62%. Interest rates and financing costs, 64%. Material costs, 54% is going to be an issue. Then you're looking at rising labor costs at 58%. Other costs like trucking insurance and stuff like that at 63%. 56% of insufficient supply or workers or contractors. 56% of workers quantity. No, the quality. They're saying the quality is not going to be that good. That's making a bigger issue as well. So as we look at the construction industry for 2024 and kind of foreshadowing in 2025, it looks a little dicey. It looks like it's going to be interesting, though. Those of us, the commercial real estate side, this is something we got to pay attention to, because that means our costs are going to go up. If we don't complete projects quicker, they're going to continue to rise. We may not have some issues with labor and quality of labor that could be coming in. So this is definitely something to take a picture of. Keep in your mind as you start putting these deals together. This is definitely going to be one of those bigger issues we deal with this year.